I'm Ross Camidge. I'm the Director of Thoracic Oncology at the University of Colorado Cancer Center. You've just been diagnosed with ALK-positive lung cancer. So that means your cancer has got something specific wrong with it, something called an ALK gene rearrangement. You don't have the mutation, it's your cancer that has the mutation. It's a gene that was involved in you being developed as a baby, and then it was turned off, and now it's been turned on again in those cancer cells to drive the cancer. So nobody wants to have cancer, but if you have to have cancer, this is one of the better ones to have. Why? Because there are multiple different treatment options. And it was really first described only in 2007. The first patients were treated with an ALK inhibitor probably in late 2008. But already we know that many patients, on average, with ALK-positive lung cancer can control their disease for years. Now, it doesn't always mean that you're going to have the same treatment throughout. Sometimes you're going to have to change the treatment to keep up as the cancer evolves. But there are multiple different pills. We now know that there are certain key chemotherapies. So, for example, a chemotherapy called pemetrexed or Alimta is particularly sensitive. Immunotherapy so far hasn't been very effective in ALK-positive lung cancer, but even things like the creative use of local radiotherapy to control individual sites of disease has also helped to extend out people's lives. Let's think about this in a real way. So there was a very nice study that actually looked at what's called the median overall survival, the time it takes for about 50% of people to have died or stay alive. So it's a pretty blunt endpoint. But that number was something like 81 months. And if you think about that in your head, that's somewhere between sort of 6 and 8 years. And that's pretty good. No one's resting on their laurels, but it's a good start. And remember, that's only the 50%. So 50% of people are doing better than that. The really interesting thing, though, is that median overall survival wasn't really influenced by the year in which you were diagnosed. And if you think about that, that's a little crazy. You know, some of these people were diagnosed even before these treatments were described. Some of the people were diagnosed when everything that we currently have is already out there. So what's that telling you? Well, it's telling you have multiple shots on target so that you can often control the disease long enough, you can stay in the game long enough that developments will occur and you can benefit from them even if they're not there this second. Many of the next generation ALK inhibitor drugs, alectinib, brigatinib, even lorlatinib, now have first-line licenses, so you can go on them straight away. There's a big debate as to you need to go on the one that's got a somewhat longer progression-free survival time before the next treatment decision, but what if it's got worse side effects? Can you keep that till later? I actually think that this is about keeping people in the game and alive and well with minimal side effects for as long as possible. So I'm very much about how can I do it with the least side effects. If I have to change my pill 3 months earlier, so what? So in general, to go back to the initial question, if you have ALK-positive lung cancer, don't panic. Yes, you have cancer, but there are multiple things that can be done to try and control this disease. And the goal of treatment is perfect control of the disease and perfect quality of life. And that may be a lofty goal, but it is at least partially achievable in many people.